fucking phone is tripping.
And securing our nation's southern and northern borders. As we know, Joe Biden allowed millions of criminal illegal aliens to pour into our country over the past 4 years. And as we all know, a significant number of those aliens have been vicious gang members, murderers, rapists, and pedophiles. Innocent Americans like Laken Riley, Jocelyn Nungaray, Rachel Warren, and many others have been murdered because of Joe Biden's open border.
Hey, can you stay in your own fucking lane, dude? Jesus Christ.
And your audiences
Fucking get the fuck out of my lane.
Keep our country safe. Has overwhelmingly
I'm already
delivered.
fucking wide enough. Like,
He immediately declared a national emergency on the southern border, deployed
Already
military
can barely fit in my own lane.
the invasion, and ended reckless catch and release policies. And as a result, between the inauguration and April 1st of this month, only 9 illegal aliens were released into the United States of America. This is a staggering 99.99% decrease for more than the 184,000 illegal aliens who were released into the country under Joe Biden during that same period last year. You can't get much better than 99.99% decrease. Total attempted illegal crossings at the southwest border hit a record low in February, only to fall to another record low again last month in March. President Trump signed the Laken Riley Act into law, requiring illegal aliens arrested or charged with theft or violence to be detained. And he reestablished the successful Remain in Mexico policy from his first term. The president has also restarted construction of his signature border wall. More than 85 miles have been built and are in various stages of construction and planning. He designated cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, invoked the Alien Enemies Act to apprehend, detain, and remove these massive.
I think getting the new gas cap might have fixed my evap issue. It's not revving anymore. I think I just had a gas cap issue.
Illegal criminals and foreign terrorists from our communities, your communities. We're in the beginning stages of carrying out the largest deportation campaign in American history, and despite the legacy media's fear-mongering and lies about this, we will continue with these successful operations.
Oh my god, dude. Alright, time to go. Hey, what's up, everyone? I don't know how good my phone service is gonna last for because it's been garbage all day. Like literally the entire drive I had it on earlier, it just was horrible. I don't know why or what. It's a beautiful day out, not raining, clear skies, just horrible fucking reception all day. I think as soon as I get my batteries installed in here with my solar, I'm going to go ahead and get myself Starlink. I just need something to power it with first.
Operation Tidal Wave is a preview of what is to come around the country. Large-scale operations employing our state and local law enforcement partners to get criminal aliens off our streets, and we will not apologize for this. This is the first of its kind multi-agency immigration enforcement.
Maybe it has to do with the Spain's power outage? I don't know.
Has so far resulted in nearly 800 legal aliens apprehended in 4 days, including MS-13 murderers.
I'm gonna leave it on. Air conditioning's working nice too. It's blowing out cool air out of the vents. No, my van just decided to wake up today and start working.
He has overwhelmingly delivered on that promise, and you will see the legacy media
You're gonna be fucking kidding me, dude.
Drum up sympathy for people who broke our nation's laws.
Are you fucking kidding me? This phone charger hasn't been charging my phone the whole time it's been plugged in. I swear to God.
Came here the right way. That's
be charging, right?
We're being cheated and ripped off.
Should be charging.
We are putting Americans first every day, and we applaud the ICE agents and border patrol.
Hold on, 1 second.
That's just the border. Of course, the president has.
All right, it is charging. All right, you all are gonna have to watch Valentina for me while I get gas.
Trade deals abroad with many countries around the world. the president is using the leverage of this office of the United States to leverage our economic might to cut trade deals. You also look at what's happening on the foreign, on the world.
I really need to get some phone stands or something. I don't know.
Notice. They all understand.
She's probably going to be looking out that window right there.
And our troops first, who's going to do what's right
When I get out.
for our country, our nation, our people.
All right, I gotta
Even if
run
that means making
inside
tough
Valentina
decisions.
and get
We are
some
closer
gas in the
today
van.
to peace deal in Russia and Ukraine, certainly
Be a
than we
good
were
girl,
when we
okay?
took off
Watch out.
on January 20th. If you look at the situation in the Middle East,
I gotta walk past
Israel
you.
has
Watch
never
out.
had a stronger friend than they do
Alright,
right
back
now
up.
in the Oval Office with President Trump. We've had more than
Lay down.
75 hostages who have returned home from around the world or wrongfully detained individuals. You can only
Be a
do
good
that
girl,
if you have
be
a
right back.
president who's unafraid to use the leverage of the United States. So there are many accomplishments to talk about this week. I haven't even mentioned the restoring common sense effort of this administration to get men out of women's sports, to root out DEI and waste, fraud, and abuse from our federal bureaucracy. The president has done so much in such little time, and we're working very hard here every day. We appreciate all that you do on social media to push what the president is saying, but also sometimes question it. And we relish independent journalism. And I hope you all have seen the president, myself, anybody in this administration. We are unafraid to take questions. This has truly been the most transparent and accessible presidency in American history. So with that, let's kick it off. And I'm happy to take your question first, Aaron.
My timeline was related to what some would call trans men. I would call men masquerading as trans women, or men masquerading as girls in house.
Sure. Obey federal law, or you will be prosecuted. Obey federal law, and you could see your federal funding cut. Whether you are at college or university, we have seen the president, again, using the leverage of this administration and to negotiate deals with some of the biggest colleges and universities in this country. And if they don't want to come to the negotiating table to apologize for the federal laws they have broken, to apologize for allowing Jewish American students on our nation's campuses to be unlawfully bullied and harassed, then there's going to be consequences for that illegal behavior. Same thing with men and women's sports. The president signed a very strong executive order, making it the policy of the United States federal government that there are only two sexes, male and female, and we are not going to tolerate biological men competing in sports or impeding in private spaces for women like myself or you. And we've seen states defy this federal order. We've seen the state of Maine, unfortunately, because of their liberal governor, who nobody in that state disagrees with, I will add, being from New England, I can attest to that. People are incredibly fed up with her trying to oppose this common sense message. You've seen young women who have had to go on television to plead with their governor, please stop letting men play against me in sports. We shouldn't live in a country where that even has to happen. The president deeply understands that. That's why he signed that EO. And when Maine decided not to follow it, the Department of Justice sued them. So anyone who disobeys federal law,
Good girl. You know you always get a treat from Sheets. They got a whole doggy section. A bone. Go ahead. Good girl. You always get a treat from Sheets. What's your face?
Sure. I don't have an official timeline for you, but certainly it's a priority of the administration. The president has talked about this for years, right? It was his signature campaign promise dating back to 2016. People laughed at him when he originally brought this idea up, but now the whole world recognizes a border wall is effective. It's a necessary means to secure your nation's territorial borders. Democrats like to have borders outside of their homes, or walls outside of their homes, for a reason, because they know it repels invaders, and that's why the president wants to do that at the southern border. There has been more than 85 miles built just since January 20th. It's obviously the goal of this administration to build as much border wall as we possibly can. And we need Congress's help to do that. We need more federal funding. The president's working closely with Speaker Johnson and Senate Majority Leader Thune.
It's in the bottom of the fucking bin. Why is this not working?
Not only provides more funding
Fucking why?
police agents and border patrol agents on the ground, but to continue.
Oh, she's all set.
Sure. Go ahead.
What's up? Chewing on her bone. I got my treat and she got hers. I guess I gotta get a new iPhone cable soon.
deal. So your Vice President, Vice President France, has said, no free speech, no deal. The British...
All right, now I got $20 to last me until I get paid on Wednesday. That's fun. That's how broke I am, everyone. I mean, I wasn't broke last week. It was just until I bought actually, and then vape juice. Fucking did it. Vaping on garbage the last 2 weeks. Fucking gross ass juice that I don't like. And I got a free bottle of vape juice today because of my points. So I think I deserve it. I put in a lot of hard work this last couple of weeks.
Well, to your latter question, it's a very good one. I have not heard that proposed to the president, nor have I spoken to him about that idea. But I certainly can talk to our national security team and see if it's something the administration would entertain. To your first question about free speech, Kingdom, the Vice President, has been incredibly outspoken about this for good reason. And the President has spoken about this as well directly with his joining the security organization to the White House. So it remains incumbent on governors to show their best and feel changes being made by first of all, the importance of free speech is so much. As for trade talks, I understand that we're in
No, she don't care about dirt roads. She likes them.
with the United Kingdom. And I would
It's
say
not really that bumpy in the van. It's the fucking roof banging on the fucking metal rivet. Now that it's all stretched out from the wood, it's making a bunch of fucking noise for no reason. The fucking roads here are worse than the dirt roads, actually. Not this one, but when I get off of this one, all of the country roads I take are fucking one giant pothole. They're horrible. You hear how quiet my van is right now? Even with the roof doing its thing?
The first is you mentioned reconciliation. Beyond that and what he hopes to get out of that, considering how slim the House majority is, what other legislative priorities does he want to see codified in law before this Congress adjourns?
It's a really good question, Sean. I think reconciliation is the first and foremost question on the president's mind right now. It's a huge deal. We have to get it done. He's working closely with Congress. In fact,
Goddamn, did you eat that whole thing already? Damn, she inhaled that bone, dude. That wasn't a cookie. That was like a chew bone. And it was like 6 inches long. Like, fucking inhaled it.
deportations, as I mentioned earlier, but
That's why I go through so many bones and treats with this dog. She like inhales them the second I give them to her.
The president has used every
And she won't chew toys. She doesn't like toys. She just likes bones.
Administrator Zeldin is doing a fantastic job with the EPA and every cabinet secretary is getting rid of regulation very seriously. The president is certainly working on unleashing American energy to drive down costs, but tax cuts are a critical component of really seeing the Trump economic formula be put together. So he wants to see tax cuts passed in this reconciliation package. That includes no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime.
What do you think? You like the van, Valentina? I think she likes it because she can actually stretch out. You know, my Mazda is very like narrow. I mean, she could stand up in it, but like it was very small space. This she can at least like, if she wanted to, she could walk all the way back there, but she won't right now. She doesn't like stepping on the metal.
And undo some of the executive work that the president has worked so hard on. So we want Congress to continue getting to work, but we got to get this reconciliation passed.
She's got so much room now. here, which is only like a mile, I have no phone service.
Previous administration, President who was hiding, who actually used this as doing that midday. That is not acceptable around here. I will tell you, we're working very early, very
Fucking on it. Fucking on it. Fucking wild. Fucking wild.
Last we heard allegedly process this.
I had to get this electrical system fixed out.
In terms of getting it done.
sure.
Buy a
First of
power
all, the
grid.
reports last week were
Charger.
from Hamas Media. And were
Charger.
from Hamas Media. And so we always take that, of course, with a grain of salt. We do our own verification on those reports. I talked to the National Security Council about Eden Alexander last week, as this is obviously a priority for the administration. And all I can tell you,
I love not having phone service. It's my favorite. Love not having phone service. And get nothing for it.
meetings and more hostage negotiations, Mike runs the entire national security team. Finding is a priority for this administration, and we continue to work very hard on it.
Yeah, the roads are fucking shit. It's funny, somebody in chat was like worried about the dirt roads. I'm like, bro, the fucking dirt roads are smoother than the actual paved roads like this. Unfortunately, I never have signal when I go down the dirt roads, so you guys don't get to see how fucking smooth the dirt roads are, but there's not even a single rattle in the van when I go down them. I should find more dirt roads. At least it'd be better than this.
DOJ stated on Friday that they were floating the idea of potentially
I don't know, maybe I need to like air down my tires or something.
the last administration well. There's numerous ones who, although still employed by DHS, have not received back pay, haven't really been employed, but not reinstated. So I'm wondering if this administration have, do they believe that we should reinstate the whistleblower, like Agents Garrett or Goodwill or Friend or, Stevenson with DHS, who blew the whistle on China trafficking involving the cartels under Joe Biden. Do you have a position on that?
Sure. Well, for each individual agency, secretaries of those agencies obviously have deference over who they hire, who they fire, who they promote. I can tell you certainly the president commends anyone who steps out and speaks the truth, especially against the malpractice that we saw over the last 4 years under the previous administration. I can speak to the two cases at the Treasury Department, two whistleblowers there who blew the whistle on the Hunter Biden tax fraud case, who have been promoted by Secretary Bessent. So certainly we commend anyone who has the courage to step up and speak the truth. And as for those who unfortunately tried to leak, especially classified information to the legacy media, to put our troops in harm's way, our law enforcement officials out of harm's way, leaks like that will not be tolerated. But those who are seeking to protect the truth will certainly be commended and applauded for that. Robin?
Hi, Caroline.
Good to see you again.
Great to see you as well. Great job this morning, and as always, you're really crushing it. My question is about the Epstein files. And a couple months ago, the DOJ released what they called the Epstein files, and they announced that
Sure. I can assure you that
It's
the
not the
Attorney
signal,
General
it's
and
the
the
fucking
team at the
battery.
Department of
It's always
Justice are
something with
working
this
on
piece
this
of shit
diligently.
phone.
For a specific timeline, I'd have to check in with them, and we can certainly do that for you in the effort of choosing you want on your team. And when she wants to get something done, she gets it done. I've seen her do it in various instances already in her time as Attorney General, and when she makes a promise, she keeps it. So I think I don't have a specific timeline for that, but I do know that they're working on it.
The worst driver.
kind of like a repeat
year
of
to take the
2016.
reins.
But the legacy media has gone back to not reporting anything from President Trump. In the beginning, we had not reporting anything from President Trump. In the beginning, we had them reporting everything that he was doing. Now we're kind of going back again to not reporting everything that he is actually doing. I'm kind of the nerd when it comes to reporting. I'm not the headline news girl. I'm the nuts and bolts, the policy type of nerd. So what direction do you advise kind of need to go into like the White House files that I see back every single day? Because that's what people are used to. They will ask me questions. They want to know how the nuts and bolts work. Secondly, I know going into the first 100 days, Johnson's going to President Trump today. President Trump has issued a lot of executive orders. What about Clark? Is that going to be a conversation President Trump is going to have with him about possibly a timeline of just taking the prime POs and so codifying them into making them permanent so we don't have another president that comes in, possibly a Democrat, that completely overturns everything that President Trump has done?
Yes, as I spoke to Sean's question earlier, absolutely we want Congress to get to work. First thing is the reconciliation package, like I said, border and tax cuts. That's on the president's mind, but of course he wants to see Congress move to codify all of the incredible things and work that he's done via executive order. To your first question about the nuts and bolts, I wish more people in the legacy media were like you and didn't focus on the sensationalist headlines but actually care about the facts. The president is doing so many phenomenal things every day that will never be mentioned on cable news at night. Signing executive orders, we do our absolute best to message that, which is again why we're welcoming independent voices like yours with following social media, because that's the best way to get those truths and those facts out there. We put out fact sheets on the daily about what the president is signing, and they do get into the nuts and bolts of each and every policy and each and every executive action that he's taking. He signed 3 phenomenal executive orders today. I will share a preview with those with you on those. One of them is an executive order focused on sanctuary cities. It will direct the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, to provide a list of sanctuary cities back to the administration. We will review those. If those sanctuary cities are breaking federal law, well, then the Office of Management and Budget is going to look at their federal spending. Again, if you're defying federal law, you are threatening your own federal spending by doing that. There is another executive order the president will sign tonight. We can provide the fact sheet for you on ensuring law and order and ensuring that federal law enforcement and local law enforcement can work together and communicate more easily. And then the third executive order, which actually speaks to the heart of your question earlier about the Uber drivers, will be a order directing the Department of Transportation to include English literacy tests for our truckers. This is a big problem in the trucking community that, unless you're in that community, you might not know. But there's a lot of communication problems between truckers on the road with federal officials and local officials as well, which obviously is a public safety risk. So we're going to ensure that our truckers, who are the backbone of our economy, are all able to speak English. That's a very common sense policy in the United States of America. So the president will be signing that on executive order. important now than ever as we see violent crime rates in our inner cities. I've said this repeatedly over the past 4 years. The Second Amendment was never more important than when we had an illegal immigrant crime epidemic spiking in this country. Law-abiding Americans have a constitutional right to defend themselves. The president absolutely supports that. But to National Master Boss, we'll give you comments. Thank you, guys. It's so good to see you. I could go around the room all day, but unfortunately, there's work to be done. Thank you for coming to our very first influencer briefing to kick off the first 100 days at the Trump White House. It's great to see you all here, and thanks for your video. Thank you. I'm going to walk off now.
For as long as he's been on YouTube, Vitaly has always been a victim of his own stupidity, from ruining his reputation with fake pranks to literally assaulting random people.
Oh, I love not having phone service. Fucking fantastic.
Vitaly is the type of crow to do anything for stupidity.
Yes.
Hi, I'm the Internet Anarchist. I create weekly YouTube documentaries, and today we'll be covering the story of YouTube's most iconic and idiotic troublemaker, Vitaly. How he repeatedly sabotaged his career for views, why he doesn't seem to learn his lesson, and what he did to utterly destroy his entire life. Throughout his life, Vitaly has done a myriad of things to make a name for himself, from trying to be a pro skater to appearing in adult films. Vitaly spent his early years experimenting with the unusual in an effort to carve out a career for himself. However, what truly sparked Vitaly's online career was YouTube prank videos. Back in the early 2010s, prank videos were a rapidly growing trend, and Vitaly was fortunate enough to hop on it just as it was becoming mainstream. The first viral hit on his channel was the infamous Miami zombie prank, in which Vitaly chases random people on the street while doing his best zombie impression. While the video managed to rack up an astonishing 30 million views and net Vitaly thousands of subscribers, the virality of the video and the reactions of the people in it was due to a very gruesome tragedy. A few days prior, a Miami resident named Ronald Popper was brutally attacked and had a major part of his face consumed by Rudy Eugene, who was later dubbed the Miami Zombie. The incident expectedly left other Miami residents on high alert, and Vitaly was very much aware of that, but he didn't seem to care and took advantage of the tragedy for views. On one hand, it gave Vitaly his start on YouTube, but on the other, it warped his sense of what constituted as viral content. Harassing, disrespecting, and using other people's pain for views was a formula that would eventually come back to haunt Vitaly. However, at the moment, it has brought in tens of millions of views with uploads like Russian Hitman 60 Seconds prank, Woman in Front of Cops prank, and the classic Gold Digger prank. He even managed to land a lead in the movie Natural Born Prankster, alongside other internet pranksters like Roman Atwood and Dennis Rodey.
For years, their pranks have gone viral.
Get the hell away from my car, you stupid little prick!
But what happens when they get too big for the internet?
I don't know, how do you know?
By 2019, Vitaly's unhinged escapades allowed him to surpass 10 million subscribers and cement his position as a YouTube icon. Within a few short years, Vitaly had gone from a no-name teenager harassing people to a widely recognized internet celebrity. But that success didn't come without a cost. past. On numerous occasions, Vitaly had been arrested by law enforcement and even spent a few days in jail at several points in his career. Some of his most notable misadventures and subsequent arrests include climbing the Hollywood sign.
We begin at 6:30 with breaking news. Good evening, I'm Micah Ullman. A man believed to be a YouTube prankster has climbed the Hollywood sign and is now back down on the ground.
Streaking during the 2014 World Cup. And filming himself climbing the Great Pyramids in Egypt.
I don't want to curse because I'm in the Holy Land. I love you so much, world. Thank the universe. Thank you, Mother Nature, for bringing me to this incredible life. Stop the war. Stop the hate. We're all equal. Thank you so much for watching.
Vitaly's time as a prankster taught him that he had hardly faced any serious legal consequences for his immature and criminal behavior. Unfortunately for Vitaly, that was all about to change, as his reckless approach to life was almost about to cost his own and completely derail his career. On the 12th of April 2020, Miami police were summoned to Vitaly's neighborhood following a very disturbing 911 call.
Exactly what's happening, ma'am. Somebody's outside shooting the out at somebody. Are there any weapons involved? No, he's just beating the out of somebody. Female on the ground. He was punching her in the left right.
The assailant in question was none other than Vitaly, and according to both his later statements and police records, he had consumed several grams of psychedelic mushrooms, resulting in extremely vivid hallucinations that compelled him to leave his residence. Once outside, Vitaly spotted a woman jogging on the side of the road and began approaching her. Despite her attempts to get away from him, Vitaly tackled this woman to the ground and began viciously assaulting her with his fists. The attack left injuries on the woman's face and eye, too horrific to show on YouTube. As people started to take notice, Vitaly fled the scene and returned to his home. A few minutes later, police arrived at Vitaly's home to apprehend him.
Your boy can stay back there. Put your hand on the car, man. No, put your hand on the car. Lean on the car right there. Hey, right there. Put your head in the back. Put your head in the back.
To say that not enough, Vitaly was involved in a skydiving incident while trying to promote one of his adult websites. Apparently, the parachute that was supposed to serve as a banner for his site was too small and didn't provide Vitaly apologized to his fans and promised to be a better person. However, he refused to mention outright what he did and the woman he harmed.
I'm here today to apologize to all the people that are listening to me right now, to the whole world, to all the people that are let down. I'm so sorry. I was left alone and broken after the incident, and nobody to blame but myself. People that I thought were my friends weren't my friends, and I just fell into depression. I lost everything. Like I said, I'm not here to blame anybody but myself. I take responsibility for my actions. That's simple. I'm so sorry. For the people that are listening to this, for the people that love me, for the people that hate me, for the people that don't even know who I am. Look what drugs and alcohol did to me. It almost ruined my life. I jeopardized my career. I lost relationships. I pretty much lost everything.
It was obvious that Vitaly wanted to worm his way back into the hearts of viewers, and while they accepted him, there was one statement that foreshadowed the real reason he was coming back: money.
I've been sober for 7 months, and I feel better than ever. I started to be motivated again. I started wanting to make videos again for fun, not for business, like it used to be when I first started.
Regardless of his motives, Vitaly had made his return to the internet, but it was only a matter of time before he returned to his old ways. By the start of 2023, Vitaly moved his online activities from YouTube over to Kick, where he began doing IRL streams regularly. After all this time, you'd expect Vitaly to either come up with a new content strategy or at least tone down his previous one. Unfortunately, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Vitaly immediately returned to harassing random people in a manner reminiscent of his original prank videos.
How are you? I'm good. How are you? I want to ask you a question. Okay. Would you mind if I eat a booty? Sorry, sorry, this isn't
interested in content from a previous era and barely engaged with the streams. This forced Vitaly to take an even more drastic approach to his content.
You're dead.